And one of the things that can't be attacked is your self-custody Bitcoin. And one of the things that can be attacked is the ETF. You can't be exposed to that. That's my view. It's not a good idea. And by the way, that'll hit MSTR too. It'll probably hit other stuff as well.
Friends and enemies, welcome back. Canadian Bitcoiners podcast.
Friends and enemies, welcome to the CBP. Want to be better informed? Listen to Len and Joey. Spots is taken care of right off the top. Bull, Bitcoin, and easy DNS. The media is feeding the slop. It doesn't matter what topics discussed. Quality entertainment and information you can trust.
That's being planned or at least discussed. You know, we're not going to allow
quality
people to buy
entertainment and information you can trust. Send the guy some value, boost them with some stats. Bitcoin is a scarcity asset. I mean, it's just a fact. Geopolitical, national, down to the local cloud.
Friends and enemies, welcome to yet another edition of the Mighty CBP. I'm Len the Legend, and obviously you're listening to this. You're wondering, what the heck am I doing? Where's Joey? Joey's not here today because he's, as you mentioned last week, getting his knee looked at, and that's the first step before getting this guy fixed. But this jabroni's not going to be doing this solo. I got somebody joining me, not coming off the bench. We're getting the Hall of Famer, Boomer. Boomer, buddy, how are you?
I'm doing good. You're coming in with a little bit of an echo here. Like you're
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Shouldn't be an echo. We have to restart this thing. Anyways, let's wait till somebody gives us some feedback if there is any echo or not, because my side it sounds okay.
Yeah, maybe I just have to restart here.
Okay, so you could do your thing, restart, and I'll just keep people entertained because, well, we have a busy week ahead of us in the Mighty CBP. And as I mentioned, Joey's not here. Nonetheless, we have a couple of sponsors. I got to chop off our list of things to do. Number one, Easy DNS. And if you're looking to do any domain name hosting, registering of any domain names, anything like that, EasyDNS is the best place to do it. They have you covered. Want to squat on a domain name, right? Like that seems to be popular these days. Might as well use EasyDNS. These guys, they mean business, privacy, security. You won't get rugged with them. They've been in business for decades. Have email hosting done somewhere else? Why not move it over to them? Or want to start up email hosting? Why not start with EasyDNS? Want to move your web hosting over? You can. Or you want to start a website? Same thing, you could do that. Virtual private servers, you could do Bitcoin nodes, you could do BTC pay servers, lots of different options, a lot of suites of products that's being offered by EasyDNS, like DomainSure. That way you protect your good name, your good website, so nobody else is going to take your customers away from you with a fake website, a fake looking website. Not only that, EasyDNS will let you pay in Bitcoin, so that's pretty darn good. Check them out, use our promo code CBP Media, and sign up, 50% taken off your initial purchase. That's easydns.com. Boomer.
Yeah, I'm back. That was on me. 100% on me. Yeah, like I had you open on multiple windows, and then I was hearing you twice, and then I clued in as I was refreshing. So sorry about that. I'm continuing the tradition of like tech issues to open the show.
So we're
2 for 2 now, 2 in a row.
Yeah, next week we strike out. Boomer, I got one more ad read to do. It's up to you if you want to do it or
not.
Bitcoin.
Bull Bitcoin.
You want to do it, or you want me to do it?
They're the best exchange in Canada. They're probably the best exchange in the world. How many countries are they available in now? I know that they're available in France.
10?
Yeah, Costa Rica, France, Mexico,
Canada.
A few more in Europe.
Yeah, it's Portugal, Spain, Italy. It's a number of them. I'm going to guess 10, maybe a little bit more. Who knows?
Non-custodial as well. So they never hold your Bitcoin. You buy Bitcoin from Bull. It goes straight to your wallet. They also have a fantastic app. Like their Liquid wallet has kind of become my daily driver. I've kind of given up on the Lightning stuff, and I just take the Bull Bitcoin Liquid wallet, and it works great. I mean, Liquid, it's 1 minute block time, so you're waiting a little bit more than for Lightning, but 1 minute is usually fine. I've never had any issues with it. And they're a great bunch of guys too. They're cool as shit. You know, I got some Bull Bitcoin swag back there over that shoulder. And you guys got like a promotion with them. What's the code that when they sign up?
The link is below. I don't know it off the top of my head, but there's a link below. So people listening, it'll be on the audio notes, and the people watching, it's going to be down in the show notes. So check it out. Open an account. and a little bit will be taken off every buy you do moving forward in perpetuity. So might as well do it. Use our promo code, open an account with Bull Bitcoin.
And they're hosting an event this week, I believe, in Montreal. I think Francis is in town.
Are you participating?
No, I won't be. I normally would be, but I'm going on vacation, so I won't be in town. I'll be on the road, so I won't be going. But Nolan Bowerly and Francis are going to be in Montreal talking about sovereignty, talking about Quebec, talking about Alberta, talking about Bitcoin. So anybody anywhere close to the Montreal area, I would highly, highly, highly recommend checking it out.
And this week on the CBP, Joey is going to be interviewing somebody by name of Heather. I don't want to give the full name just in case I'm going to dox her name, but I'm not sure what's it all about. Do you know of any Heather that's in the Bitcoin / adjacent field?
Just Heather that does the Unhypnotized podcast.
I don't want to say the name just in case it's wrong. So anyways, if you're listening, if you want to hear a Heather talk, Joey's going to be talking to a Heather this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Check it out. But I got to just a couple of things I got to do really quick. Number one, I want to talk about boosts. You okay with that, Boomer?
Of course.
Awesome. Okay, so top 5 boosts for this week. AIBLE. Eibel? I don't know. 100 sats says he loves a new segment. That's the Hamilton man versus Brampton man.
Great.
I'm all up for those. I'm all for those elbows up, but those elbows are up while jerking off in the public transit. I think we've jumped the shark as a country. Thank you and God bless. Yeah, agreed. God's Deeth, 237 sats. He says, thank you, gentlemen. All right. Jer writes in 3 different times, 2,000 sats. Further fire, more fire, and straight fire. He's just all about the fire. He loved our last episodes last week. 3 of them were released, and he loved them all. So yeah, Taz says no echo here. Thank you very much for the feedback.
Is that the same? Is that the same Jer that does the live streams on Nostr?
I don't know.
You know who I'm talking about?
No, but Jer, if you're listening to this, give us an answer. Are you the one that's doing those live streams on Nostr? Let's get an answer to that. Boomer, before we dive deep into the Bitcoin stuff, just a couple of last things. I got to take care of one last thing. Any memories of the late, great Hulk Hogan, who passed away this week?
Like positive or negative? Or positive or negative? My first ever memory.
He helped shape our generation, right?
Yeah.
Like he was very, very instrumental for us growing up.
Yeah, SummerSlam with the Mega Powers versus the Mega Bucks is my first wrestling, like pretty vivid memory of it all. You know, like the whole feud with the $1 Million Man and with Andre the Giant, and how it kind of turned into a big thing. I'm a Randy Macho Man Savage guy, you know that. Like I'm a Randy Macho Man Savage guy, so Hulk Hogan was kind of like half at the time. He was like kind of not cool for me. Like I thought he was like too goody for me. That's why I always like those bad guys. So SummerSlam, that was the SummerSlam 88 or 89. I think 88.
One or two, yeah.
I think it was 88.
You ever see Hogan wrestle live?
No.
I 3 times.
3 times. Who'd he face?
Orndorff, 86
wow.
exhibition in Toronto. 1990 WrestleMania 6 against Warrior.
Oh shit!
And then I saw him at Nitro in the late 90s. So I was lucky enough to see him a few times, especially in his prime. Yeah, but the man is gone. Hulkamania lives forever, but the Terry Bollea, unfortunately, is gone. So
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Let's go on to Bitcoin stuff. I think it's a good time to start. Joey, I'll call you Joey. Boomer.
I've been called worse by better.
This is one I want to hear your thoughts about, because MicroStrategy, MSTR, what the fuck they're called? I have no fucking clue. I don't know how they go about doing this, but they find new ways to raise capital. And this week's edition of Strategy's debt offering is something called STRC. It seems like every week there's another offering that they're ponying up for people that just want to buy. STRC is this week's debt offering. and it's designed to be a Bitcoin-backed version of U.S. Treasury bills. That's what some people are describing it. Initially, the yield for these STRCs is going to be between 9.5 to 10%. And comparatively to U.S. Treasury bills, it's way, way more lucrative. But I'm wondering now, with this very high yield, so to speak, I mean, holy fuck, are we entering Terra Luna territory? Remember, Terra Luna was offering 19.5%, give or take. And everybody knows what happened to them. I'm not saying that this is going to be the same thing, but, you know, the algorithmic stablecoin, you know, that was some shit coinery giving large yields. Is this going to be a fiat offering of some sort of algorithmic stablecoin type? I have no, it's not a stablecoin, at least algorithmic stock. But either way, they're trying to get 500 million. And what are they going to use that for? Well, primarily to buy more Bitcoin. And it's going to make a lot of people that are MSTR investors happy. They are aiming to maintain a price of around $100 per share for these STRC stuff. Algorithmic shares. Thoughts on this?
It's concerning. Now, you and I are in a couple of group chats together. I've been on this show before talking with Joey about MicroStrategy and stuff. I like to think that I'm relatively level-headed when it comes to this. Like, I'm not a hardcore Sailor apologist, and I'm also not like one of those anti anything that is not on chain. Like, I like to think that I kind of take everything with a grain of salt and kind of learn a little bit about it before I have really strong opinions about everything. But with this, it feels a little much, don't you think? It seems fast. Now, what Sailor seems to be doing here, and I think he's said so. If he hasn't, he's alluded to it. He's really trying to build himself out a yield curve. He's trying to create all these different products that will appease to every single type of investor all the way out to on the risk spectrum, right? So where the common shares would be the highest risk, where this new offering would be the lowest risk. And he's trying to find a product everywhere along the line. My concern is just how quick he's doing all this and why all at once. Like,
maybe there's the impression that Bitcoin's going to go up and he wants to strike the hammer while it's red hot before this thing really runs away. Like, they have 600,000 Bitcoin.
Or the other way around. Or it could go down really fast, and he wants other options out there that he can sell without having to sell common shares to dilute further with the common shares or to sell Bitcoin. He's trying to find whatever. He's looking for chairs. That's what I'm trying to say in a way, right? He's trying to set himself up so that if things go down, he'll have things to sell instead of having to pony up the cash by selling Bitcoin.
They're not going to sell. I mean, you didn't even reference it or hint at it, but just for people out there, neither of us are going to say that they're going to start selling their Bitcoin. They're not.
Can't.
The only way they could start selling their Bitcoin is if the company goes tits up. That's the only way I can see it. We had Bitcoin go down to 15K 3 years ago, maybe a little bit less than 3 years ago, and they still did not sell. In fact, they might have been still buying through that whole ordeal. And their average buy price was way higher than 15K.
Yeah.
And so they didn't sell then. Right now we're sitting at, I don't know what the heck, 120-ish. I don't know where the fuck we are right now. They're not going to sell anytime soon.
No.
It's got to be a bankruptcy. That's not going to happen. So, yeah, they're just finding new ways to just offer up like something.
To accumulate more. Yeah.
This one is interesting. I don't want to say it is ingenious or people should be looking at this. The high yield is something that scares me. The 9.5 to 10% initially, I look at that and I always wonder the yield, like they say, where does it come from? I'm sure they're able to find a paper trail that it's you are not the exit liquidity for this, but maybe you are. I don't know. But I'm just trying to get at is just being rather high. To me, it's a kind of a red flag. But people that are buying, say, treasuries and they're not mandated by treasuries. They're just buying it just to get some steady income, some steady yield year over year. This is a better alternative, right? Like in terms of just so that's going to be able to attract a certain customer. It's not going to attract me.
All these products that he's offering will attract a certain customer, right? All the and I don't have them memorized. SDRD, STRC, SDRK, SDRD. I have a little chart that I have on my computer to kind of remind me which one is senior and which one is junior, all the way out.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting though, like what he's doing. You got to give him that. Like there's not, but I wonder, like, what is the appetite for these products when they
sell out? Right, that's the fucking thing is every time they offer it, it's not like they're coming back and say, guys, you really got to look at and buy into this thing. They fucking sell out. There are people lined up to buy this shit.
Then why is the yield 9% then? If there's so much demand, why wouldn't you start the yield? Why wouldn't you start the yield off above 5? Because U.S. Treasuries yield around 5, so you yield a little bit more than 5, but you certainly yield less than 10. Like, why are we at this number?
They just that's a really good question. I don't know.
And I'm not sure if the demand for this one is going to be as strong as some of the other ones. Like I'm not super in it. You know, I look at it, I'm no expert. But I think we kind of lump them all together in our brains, that these alternative products, these MSTR alternative products, and we assume that they all have roughly the same amount of demand. And I'm not sure if that's the case.
Agreed.
So
well, we'll see in short time how this one plays out. To be honest, I don't give a fuck. I can't stress it for myself and people out there. If you use it, if you want to buy into it, good fucking luck. I hope you make bank. For me, I don't give a. These guys could keep offering more and more stuff. It's good talking points, but in terms of like impacting my life, no fucking way. I am not exiting the fucking my Bitcoin allotment and get more fiat. It's the opposite. I want to lessen my fiat allotment and increase my Bitcoin allotment. That's just the only way it works for me like that. But
for some of the newer watchers and newer listeners that are tuning in, this is one of your first episodes. You guys got to know how hardcore Len is.
No,
Len is no joke. You're a legend. There's a reason why Len the legend is.
Well, let's just transition to a story as to why I speak like this and because it's a story about the banks. And they keep giving us reasons why Bitcoin is a better alternative, right? And it's a lawyer, Eva Chapayak. Hope I pronounced her name correctly, Eva Chapayak. She went on social media this past week. She was showcasing that Bitcoin is way better option than just leaving stuff in a bank. Notably, she's a lawyer or was a lawyer that was defending the truckers in Ottawa. So she has that target on her back. This past week, she was given notice by RBC Bank that her account is going to be shut down. And the rationale they provided her was for risk concerns. They say recent activity was outside RBC's client risk appetite. This is verbatim from RBC. And we won't get into the fact that RBC was recently fined $7.4 million by FinTrack, that's Canada's anti-money laundering agency, because they failed to comply with anti-money laundering and terrorist financing regulations. They have blood on their hands, RBC does. But I guess those actions are within the bank's risk of appetite. What she did, apparently, she was buying Bitcoin. And that is, the bank said she's no longer in a position to continuing servicing her.
Do you know what that sketchy buying Bitcoin was? 2 days in a row, she submitted $1,000 from her bank account to her ShakePay account. Jesus. 2 days in a row, $1,000.
And so I'm going to tie this back into the first story we talked about before we get to this one.
Allegedly.
Do you see why I don't want to buy any shit like MSTR? And granted, MSTR would probably increase, and a lot of other offerings would increase your fiat allotment because it has done very well in the past while, and I expect it to do very well as long as the price of Bitcoin doesn't go down. But you somehow have to exit that fiat into something like Bitcoin.
Yeah.
She, 2 $1,000 purchases was enough to flag her and say, no, if you're locked in fiat, you are locked in fucking fiat. You can't get the fuck out. So
to a Canadian company who are pretty, like, we both know some of the guys at ShakePay. They're pretty professional over there. They go out of their way, I think, sometimes overboard to be compliant. You know, I'm not saying, oh, maybe I should rephrase that a little bit.
Within, I know where you're trying to get. They operate within the confines of the law. They have been recently granted admission within the walled gardens. And fuck, I forget the name of the agency or the whatever it is, but they are now at the table when it comes to talking about financial stuff.
Yes.
With fuck, I forget the name of that. Either way, what I'm trying to get at is these people, ShakePay, they haven't rubbed the regulators the wrong way. They've
gone out of their way to engage with regulators.
Yes.
They have people on staff whose job is to engage with these people. Where there are some exchanges out there that basically put a middle finger up to the government and say, go fuck yourself. But not ShakePay. ShakePay, and they're Canadian. So they're a Canadian company that are doing things the right way, at least to the best of their ability. And this lady sends $1,000 on back-to-back days. Now, you are supposed to disclose on ShakePay if you make transactions above a certain number, and I'm not sure what that number is. It might be 1,000.
It is.
And maybe she didn't. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she didn't. First of all, the fact that you have to is kind of ridiculous. $1,000. It's not that much money, you know, in the grand scheme of things. So I don't know if this is so much a Bitcoin story as it is a Canadian authoritarian freedom type of story. But either way, it does have play on this show, and it is something we should discuss because it shouldn't matter that she was sending something to ShakePay to buy Bitcoin, supposedly, right?
Yeah.
That's not as important as the fact that it was able to get shut down. Her bank account was able to get shut down for doing something that is certainly not illegal.
Yeah. Payments Canada. So ShakePay is a member of Payments Canada.
Now, and where have ShakePay been on this? Like, I searched around a little bit to see if they've made any statements about this, and I haven't seen anything.
What can they do? And I don't want to defend them.
Well, it's their customer, right? She's a customer.
They may, and I don't want to defend them in this way because let's be honest, all they're trying to do is facilitate transaction. When the relationship between herself and the bank,
correct,
ShakePay is outside of that. So,
but if her reacting with them is what caused something to flag on the bank's end, then that is something that if I were the business, I would want to be on that. And I sure as hell wouldn't want any more customers, this happening to more customers, because it's not good for business.
Yeah. And maybe they're doing something behind the scenes. We don't know. Now I'm just wondering, you're right. Why haven't they said anything publicly? That seems rather strange. But either way, if this isn't a red flag for people out there,
yeah,
I don't know what is. The best thing you should do is learn through somebody else's pain. You don't want to go through this. You want to see somebody, and I don't want to see anybody else go through this. But if they do, at the very least, learn what happened and try to avoid that from happening to you. Now, what is the best way for this from happening to you? Obviously, going ahead and still buying Bitcoin is going to be, you can't get around that if you want to stack more Bitcoin. So you have to still buy Bitcoin. But what I'm trying to get at is, why try to increase your fiat allocation? Try to minimize that as much as possible. Try to increase the amount of sats you have. And once you control it, you run your own node, you broadcast your own transactions, you control your own keys, not your coin, is very much prevalent, especially here, because imagine if she had stuff on an exchange, they'd probably been given an order to hold it. Like, who gave them the order? How did RBC do this? It's not arbitrarily.
It's on them. It's on RBC. That something flagged on RBC Well, that's how I read it. If you read like the letter that she posted a letter that the bank sent
Yeah.
her.
I'm wondering if somebody above them. I don't want to say whom. I'm
Well,
just trying to say. I'm wondering.
Or maybe this individual, this person was on some sort of list already, and they were looking for some reason to debank her as a form of
punishment,
punishment.
retribution. Yeah, and I get it. And we at the CBP, we went through the same bullshit before, and I don't want to rehash that because my blood pressure goes up when I do. But my hatred for those institutions, it's still at an all-time high. It has not gone down since then. And watching this, it just basically keeps it at an all-time high. So what I'm trying to get at is people learn from other people's pain. If you don't, if you want to be suffering as a result, do continually keep your money in the bank, do everything, and then everything is great. And until one day they say no, you're not going to be able to get it.
And if you want to know how, talking to the listeners out there, if you want to know how bad it can actually get, go on CBP's YouTube page and scroll back a couple of months when Tony from the Bitcoin Way was on with Len. And he talked for about an hour with Len about what happened, his experience that he had in Lebanon, not that long ago.
Yeah, he was fucking retired. Like he basically had his whole life set up for him in such a way that he wasn't going to be able, he wouldn't have to lift much of a finger to make himself, feed himself, house himself. So like he had everything set up for him. And then just overnight, the banks, the central bank, they devalued the currency. He wasn't able to get access to his funds. It was not able to get it into USD. It was stuck in, what's the Lebanese currency? Is it Lebanese lira or?
I thought they were dollars. Weren't they
Lebanese dollars? Lebanese, yes. Sure. So it was stuck in. So he got wrecked.
Yeah, and you got to, in the fiat system. There are an unlimited amount of backdoors for an obscene amount of people to rug you in any which way. Right? We talk about quantum computers and Bitcoin. Oh, like is it going to be quantum resistant? I'm like, guys, like the fiat system is way more fragile than the Bitcoin system.
Yeah. You want to see how much more fragile it is when they flood the market with all, like we saw what happened in 2020 and 2021. And now where people are just pissed off now because everything has gone up. Well, now you have way more money floating in the system, chasing the same amount of goods. And obviously the price of the goods are going to go up as a result. This past week, we had 80,000 Bitcoin. 80,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That was apparently sold off by an OG Bitcoiner. And Galaxy Digital was the one that helped facilitate that trade. And what happened with all that? The price of Bitcoin, for the most part, was pretty stable. Like it went down a little bit, but if you think about it, it's $9 billion worth of a transaction. 3 years ago, when Terra Luna went tits up, that was about the same amount of Bitcoin that was released when them and Voyager and BlockFi and a few other, I can't remember. That was about the same amount of Bitcoin that was released to the market, and the price of Bitcoin tanked. Now, it was kind of a blip more than anything. Like I'm wondering now.
Nothing. We're right back to where we were. This was
incredible.
Friday. Yeah, that was Friday, right? I think it got posted.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday,
Friday, and here we are Monday evening, and we're exactly where we were. And
incredible.
It only went down a couple of percent.
Yeah. So that's why, like in terms of resiliency of Bitcoin, this is an incredible showcase of how much people want to buy. If they start flooding the market with Bitcoin, there's people out there just willing to scoop it up. Now, as for who this is, the story is this OG Bitcoiner. Don't know if it's true. Speculation was in an estate sale, and as a result of that, somebody or the people managing the estate decided to sell it.
Huh? Was it
so
Terry?
Imagine, I don't know. Could you imagine? You go out there, you buy Bitcoin, you hold on to it for a number of years, and you croak, and then so the keys are passed on to your whoever, and they decide, you know what, fucking sell it. Like, come on.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I hadn't heard that. But that does make a lot of sense. I had questioned somebody somewhere along the line about why wasn't this done over the counter. If you're somebody that has 80,000 Bitcoin, like not even 80, if you have more than 10,000 Bitcoin or even 1,000 Bitcoin, why would you use an exchange? Why wouldn't you just like use like one of those like
Bisq.
Well, not just Bisq. Can you imagine how long that would take with Bisq? Yeah, you'd be there for the rest of your life trying to get rid of your Bitcoin. But
an OTC transaction probably makes more sense because that's like, for example, MicroStrategy. That's where they make their buys, right?
Yeah,
and
almost all of the institutions do the OTC transactions, even the ETFs. Like, why wouldn't you give Larry Fink a call and say, hey, Uncle Larry, got some corn for you.
And another theory is it could be Ross that sold this.
I heard Roger Ver as well, but every time something happens at Bitcoin now, like a sell, it's like, oh, it's Roger Ver.
He's for whatever reason, because he's fucked, right? Like, did they extradite him back to the US?
They're trying.
So he's wherever, like, where is he, in the Cayman or something? He's in
somewhere. Yeah.
So he's not okay. Good luck to him. And you know what? If he didn't pay what he should have paid, I don't know. Like, what's the whole thing? Like, people may say, "Oh, like he was entitled to it." Like, the law is the law. You got to deal with it. It sucks, But
and if you're new to Bitcoin, that's definitely a name that's not from this cycle, not from last cycle, from like
many cycles ago,
a couple of cycles ago. But he was a major character in the history of Bitcoin.
He was even before I got into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I got in just after all this. I started in Q4 2017, and I think August was when everything took place, right? I could be wrong, in August 2017, but I missed it. And it's too bad because I would have loved to have got on for the split and get those fucking coins and sold them off, because that's basically free money, but whatever.
Great stories for like Bitcoin meetups. If there's like some older guys that have been around a long time, ask them stories about like Roger Ver and the block size wars and the hard fork. Those are amazing stories. In
some cases, you got to pay $10K to go like do one of these visits to watch Breedlove speak. And then you get the like. By the way, anybody that's doing that, paying, I forget what they call those. What Breedlove is calling those.
The art of alpha.
Art of alpha. Thank you. $10K USD for some of those fucking things. Do yourself a favor. I know it'd probably be a write-off and all that, but just fucking buy corn instead. Like, you're gonna be way better off. Fuck giving it for these trips that are meaningless. If not, just go for somewhere else without giving them the $10K. Go to Hawaii, go wherever the fuck, and enjoy it. You get better value doing that.
But do go to Bitcoin meetups though.
Yeah, so you don't have to.
Go to your local Bitcoin meetup. You don't need to spend $10,000 to talk to an online influencer about Bitcoin.
What is the next meetup in Ottawa?
Not until I get back from vacation. I'm not. I shouldn't say that. Like, I'm not canceling them. So I think that they're probably going to run without me for the next couple of weeks. So I think next Wednesday. But I won't be there.
When? Like what time?
Yeah, 7:00 at the Big Rig restaurant. That's Chris Phillips' old restaurant. Remember Chris Phillips? He was the
defenseman first overall.
Yeah. He opened up a restaurant here, so we meet up there we meet there twice a month. So like the second Wednesday of every month and the third Sunday.
He was no Chara.
No. Is that who they got for? Is that who they traded for Chara?
No. The thing is, if I recall correctly, they had two players that were going to be turning free agents around the same time, Redden and Chara. They ended up keeping Redden and letting Chara go and sign Redden to a long-term contract. Now, Redden was a good defenseman at the time, but hindsight, man, Chara was an absolute stud.
Yeah.
But at the time, Redden seemed like a good choice.
And Redden was like in the community. He was a Canadian boy, and that style of defenseman at the time was, stay-at-home defenseman.
No, he was a very good two-way defenseman. Yes.
Wasn't Redden more defensive?
No, he was able to accumulate lots of points. He was really good. He at the time, if you look at it, he was one of the better defensemen in the league, and so was Chara. That's why Ottawa had such a good team that year.
They got Chara. I was mistaken there. They got Chara from trading Alexei Yashin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got it from the Islanders. Yeah. Jack Dorsey. Let's talk about him.
Yeah.
This past week, he announced that merchants that are using Square are going to be given the option for Bitcoin payments, so the acceptance of Bitcoin. And so paying with Bitcoin, I talk about it all the time on the show. It's great news for those that want to see Bitcoin used as a medium of exchange. But as per this announcement, it seems that there's going to be a limited rollout, and just a few merchants in the moment are going to be able to do this. The plan is to have this rolled out to all merchants by next year. And those who have been approved can enable customers to pay with the Lightning Network, and with almost instant settlement and fees costing next to nothing. This could potentially fuck over Visa and MasterCard if merchants offer some sort of incentive to customers for paying in Bitcoin, because those Visa, MasterCard, have to charge, or they're dealing with an extra 1 to 2 or 1 to 4% with dealing on Visa or MasterCard, plus the settlement is days or weeks. And so it's a little bit of a hindrance for the merchant itself. So if they could offer a 2-tiered payment system, one for Bitcoin that's few percent off versus one for Visa or MasterCard, which is standard rate, this could open a door for some people to potentially use Bitcoin because there's an incentive to do so. But in terms of this, I don't see this playing out. This is just an idea. Probably will never fucking fly. The reality is this feature is offering for Bitcoin payment is probably going to be mostly unused. Let's be honest. People right now are in HODL mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. No, I disagree with that. I think there will be some people that will use it.
They're going to be the minority. Like, it's going to be an extreme minority of that.
It's more on the merchant side that I hope it's easy for them. Like, I hope
they just opt in. It's a simple opting in.
Just opt in. I hope it's easy. I hope the interface is seamless. I hope that it's just a matter of, click, and then they can do it. From what I understand with this, what you said is correct. It can be Lightning from, sats to sats, and then the merchant will get to hold the sats. But I think there's also an option that the merchant can get dollars.
Yeah.
Right away. So maybe that's good. I mean, all of this is good. Like, I'm happy to hear this. I wish I would have heard this 3 years ago. Like, this seems a little
late.
I wish I would, but better late than never. I know personally, I do quite a bit of shopping at farmers markets, and I've had one. I have a Bitcoin hat when I go. I kind of talk about Bitcoin a little bit to the farmers and to the merchants. I've had one kind of ask me questions more. She actually asked my girlfriend questions because I go there with my girlfriend, and she kind of, one day that I wasn't there, she asked my girlfriend, like, oh, what about this Bitcoin thing that, your boyfriend kind of talks about? So that's good. And she does have a Square terminal. So I'm hoping that she'll be one of the few that will be able to activate this on her terminal at some point. Mm-hmm. And I can start paying for my sausages, in Bitcoin. Like, I would like to do that.
Is this a Montreal bar reference, or is this something else?
No. No,
just curious.
It's not a Montreal bar reference. No.
Okay, because when you're paying for sausages, you never know.
That's
right?
2024 meta, Len. That's a previous meta. That's not
2025.
This is 2025. 2025 is farmers markets. Actual sausage, actual pork sausage from the farmer.
All right.
I just hope it's easy. I hope it's not that much of a problem. I'm with you. It's better than credit cards charging merchants 3%. But these merchants also have other options as well. They can accept debit. Having a conversation with a farmer not a couple of weeks ago, and they were actually telling us that they prefer debit to credit. Like, they would rather people pay with Interact, with their bank card, because it's
what's the rationale for that? I think
cheaper,
I know what it is.
Cheaper fees, right?
Mm-hmm.
They would actually even prefer, this particular farmer would actually prefer that to cash, because paying in cash is a pain in the ass. Once they have too much of it, then they have to go submit it in the bank, and it becomes a little bit of a problem.
Yeah. Imagine that it's legal tender.
I
right?
know.
You've heard this is the whole bullshit of this all, where they set up these barriers, and now in Canada they're thinking about any transaction over 10K, and it could be cumulative. Like you
I know
a $7,000 transaction to 4,000, and that's going to be something that could potentially be against the law. Man, like what the fuck? I mean, if they pay me in paper, or in this case plastic, because our bills are plastic here in Canada, like it's still legal tender, right? It doesn't matter if I'm going to spend $20 or $10,020. It's still the same shit to me. I mean, it's bullshit that they have this, but whatever. It's all the more reason why I Bitcoin, and I like to see this.
Yeah, me too. Like I'm excited. Yeah. I'm really excited for this. Like I'm actually
really excited.
No, I am. This is actually huge news for me. This is
something that Jack Mahler should have came out with a fucking years ago.
Yeah,
right. Remember he was talking about this at one of those conferences I'm going to not name. And still, I don't think if any of this has been.
And that's why you're a legend, Len. That's why
I'm fucking angry about those motherfuckers. And so, he did that. He was a nice spiel. He speaks a big game, but what the fuck did he deliver with respect to that? Maybe he did. I have my head buried up my ass, but I didn't see it. Hearing anything. Exactly. Yeah. Whatever. Fucking PayPal.
So you're not like a medium of exchange guy, right? You were like you said before. It's like people don't want to spend their Bitcoin. You think that like people are just gonna not spend?
I think people are in hodl mode for a couple of reasons. One, they are buying this for right now with the intention of obviously increasing their wealth somehow. And the second is the tax requirements.
That's the problem.
In Canada and the United States.
Yeah.
Unless things change, it's an administrative headache. So
I want to see that changed. That to me is like the biggest thing that could happen in Bitcoin. It's strategic Bitcoin reserve, treasury companies. Like, I don't care. Like, I want to see no capital gains tax on de minimis purchases. Whatever that number is. I'd love to see it $1,000, but realistically, we'll be lucky to see a couple of $100. Like no capital gains on Bitcoin transactions under a couple $100, because I'm the type of person I really like to use my Bitcoin. Like I go out of my way wherever I can to exchange it as much as I can, because I truly believe that if this thing is to be what we hope it to be, like this, this revolutionary thing, we need to have it as a medium of exchange.
And that's what it is. It's not only a store of value, but it's a medium of exchange. And I'm guilty of not using it as a medium of exchange. But you know what? I have an excuse. I don't leave the fucking basement. So, it's hard for me to pay when I'm stuck here in the basement.
Yeah.
PayPal. We can talk about PayPal because there's some news that happened this past week. And it looks like they're going to be allowing merchants to accept Bitcoin and other things. About 100 digital assets in total are going to be allowed for people to transact. So you can allow people to pay with PayPal, including shit like Farcoin. Like they're just scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Like meme coins they're fucking throwing in there. Anyways, initially they're going to charge merchants a promotional fee of 0.99%, so about 1% on transactions for the first year, and then charge up to 1.5% beyond that. So it seems rather reasonable.
That's very reasonable.
There's a question I have, because as per this article in Fortune, I don't know how truthful this is. It says, to settle the transactions, PayPal will let users connect to existing crypto wallets they own to a checkout page. And depending on a buyer's crypto wallet, PayPal will sell the cryptocurrency on a centralized exchange like Binance, like Coinbase, or a decentralized exchange like Uniswap. The proceeds of the sale will then be converted into PayPal's stablecoin. So we're going from Bitcoin, it's changed for stablecoin, and then that will be converted yet again to USD. And then the USD will be sent to the merchant. These extra steps, though, there's two of them here. So you're going from Bitcoin, potentially, to PayPal's stablecoin, then to USD. There's got to be some fees in between that PayPal's not going to be eating. It's going to be passed on to the consumer or the merchant. Somebody's got to pay for it.
My 2 cents on this is quite simple. I think this is them trying to pump up liquidity on their stablecoin.
Could be,
and they're willing to eat the fees. to be able to say that they have this much money worth of transactions happening on their stablecoin, because they see that there's a what the American administration is going with the stablecoin stuff. So if they can put their product up with some of the bigger ones and say, we have millions of dollars in transactions on this on our PayPal stablecoin, look how great we are, they're willing to eat the fees. This is a promotional thing.
But what, like, in terms of the big guys, now you have Tether.
Yeah.
I think number one, then USDC, which is heavily regulated, I think is number two. And then after that,
there's a bunch of,
it's a huge drop. Like, what's the drop? Like, what is PayPal? What are they trying to do with this? Even they're trying to pump their own stablecoin. I'm wondering what's the end game here. Is
maybe to get to banks to start using their stablecoin.
Maybe,
right? When I read this article, that was the first thing that came to mind. It's like, this is clearly a promotional. I don't know, it's a stunt. It's not a stunt. It's a promotional thing to get liquidity, to get volume on their stablecoin, so that they can say that our stablecoin is the third biggest stablecoin in the world.
I guess it does absolutely nothing for me to onboard onto PayPal and use it. Okay, I'm happy with the fact that they're allowing people to pay with Bitcoin, but just extra steps. Let's do away with that. Like, what about just Bitcoin? And if the end user wants to keep the Bitcoin, they keep it, or Bitcoin and then straight to USD. You know, they just don't even deal with this PayPal bullshit. Just go straight to USD and then call it a day.
It's pretty clear where this is going, though, right? Like, you really see that, like, this tokenization thing is not going away.
No,
this is early innings. So this is really early.
Lenny Poffel, the Genius Act. They're trying to make with that. They're trying to regulate and try to at least have some sort of framework for utilization of stablecoins. I can't believe they're doing this. It seems like there is a element of power that's lost when you're doing that, because you're handing off some of the power to these centralized companies, either be a Tether or who's USDC? Circle. And rather than the central bank or even the SWIFT system being the ones that overseeing everything, now they're having somebody else do it. Like, it seems like, why pass off this power to them? It just doesn't make sense to me. But you know what? There's a lot of things I don't see.
We'll see. We'll see what this all means. Like, I honestly think that within the next few years, people will have the option to pay for their groceries in Apple stock, where their wallet will be, you know, their on their phone, their payment wallet will be attached to all their financial things, and they'll be able to use a fraction of their stock portfolio to be able to pay for daily transactions.
I don't know, man.
I think we're headed there. I think that seems where we're going.
Yeah. Well, Western Union, let's talk about that company. I can't believe they're still around, because they're trying to find new ways of offering up services to people, and they're exploring the option of providing stablecoin services. Anybody out there that's bullish on Western Union, the ticker is WU. Check it out. Look at the past 5 years. It looks like the Bitcoin to ETH or ETH to Bitcoin chart, whatever the fuck it is, which is a steady decline. The value of Western Union, just like the value of ETH comparatively to Bitcoin, is going down. It's gone down quite a bit. And they must be shitting themselves because of what happened with the advent of Bitcoin and now stablecoins. So now with this Genius Act coming out, looks like they're saying that, you know, stablecoins could be more mainstream. Took a look at their website. Right now, if you want to send money abroad, for example, if you want to send money to Mexico, be it $200, $600, $1,000 to Mexico, $8 is the fee. $8. I can send billions of dollars in Bitcoin around the world. It costs me pennies, depending on how many UTXOs there are. So it's no comparison right now. Granted, the Bitcoin network is not being stuffed with shit. It's pretty much, it's pretty empty, the mempool. But let's be honest, Western Union is on their way out. They're trying, I can't believe they're still around. This is one company. If I wanted to get into fiat, I'd fucking short them.
This really feels like Blockbuster starting their own streaming service, right? Oh, you can watch Blockbuster online. How's that going to go?
Wasn't the story that Netflix approached them?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. $700 million or something, or I don't know exactly what the number was, and they said no.
There's still one Blockbuster still around.
I
believe it's in the state of New Jersey. Could be wrong, but there's one last holdout.
Isn't it Michigan?
Maybe Michigan.
There's like a little documentary on it on YouTube. That was really good. I watched it a couple of years ago. It's a really interesting little, half-hour documentary.
Yeah. Well, it's a throwback, and sometimes every once in a while, I'm going into the weeds here. Every once in a while, you'll see somebody post on X or Twitter, like an old store, an abandoned store. You can still see the outline, the silhouette of the Blockbuster logo, and you can just tell it was Blockbuster the way it is. Those are days long gone, man. Going through those aisles trying to find something to rent for the weekend, and the late fees. Don't forget to rewind if you had a VHS. Remember that? You had to fucking rewind those things.
Yeah. Be kind. Be kind and rewind, right? Remember like renting Super Nintendo games and just like you have the wall and you'd be there like an hour. It took me like sometimes an hour to choose which game I'm going to rent for the next day.
Yeah, those were the days. Now you can just get an emulator and fucking get any game you want.
Yeah.
All right, last story on the Bitcoin side. Redemption of Bitcoin from ETFs could potentially be a reality in a not too distant future. 5 major ETF issuers, ARC21, Fidelity, Invesco, Van Eck, WisdomTree, all of them submitted some amendments to the SEC, and it's aiming to permit investors to exchange Bitcoin directly for ETF shares. So right now, you could do that with gold, with a gold ETF, but you have to have a fuckload of shares, and it's not everybody could do it. It's got to be some authorized participant. I expect the exact same thing apply to this with Bitcoin. You probably have to have a fuckload of shares in these ETFs, and it's not for everybody to redeem. It's got to be probably these select few that are admitted it in these walled gardens that they're able to fucking redeem it. Like, this is something that's interesting, but there's no value here. His people like us, that if we do want to buy one of these Bitcoin ETFs, we will not be able to take advantage of the redemption of Bitcoin. Period. It's always going to be, in the end, it's going to be whenever we decide to sell, will only be the fiat value. That's it. You'll never get Bitcoin. You'll have to somehow exchange that fiat to Bitcoin if that's your intention, but it will never be done directly through there. It's up to you to do it. So
this is still good news, though. This is still good. This is things moving in the right direction. I would better this than them coming out and saying that, like, yeah, it's going to be absolutely impossible for anyone to ever be able to redeem Bitcoin ETFs for actual Bitcoin. So while I'm in 100% agreement with you, I don't know what the threshold is going to be, but it's probably going to be ridiculously high. I am glad that this is at least being discussed, and I do think it's a positive thing.
Yeah, I guess in terms of the impact,
still paper Bitcoin. It's still paper Bitcoin, right?
It is, yeah,
it's paper Bitcoin Summerland, don't you know?
Yeah, Palmer was saying that.
Yeah, it was Greaser or Palmer.
Yeah, I get those two confused. Either way. Well, Boomer, that's it for the Bitcoin side of things. Hope you enjoyed this segment of the show. We'll be transitioning to the rest of the stories in just a moment. So if you're watching us, don't do anything. Just continually watch us. If you're listening, this show will be coming out. The next show will be coming out for you tomorrow. Any last words, Boomer?
Don't be a cuck.
I agree with you. Don't be a cuck.